Hello! Hello, everybody. Sorry for the slight delay over if you were waiting over on the YouTube side because, you know that funny feeling you get when you set up to go help your friend's webcast and then you put the RTMP link into your OBS for your friend's channel and then you completely forget to change the RTMP link back? I'm sure most of you don't know what's going on with that, but needless to say, for about the first minute of this, I was streaming to the Generational Gap channel and not my own. But we are streaming now to my own channel. We are here. My name is Jay Edgar, and this is Ed Talk. If you are new to this program, if you've never watched this program before, we're going to be taking calls both on a phone line and over on a Discord server. So, once we get the phone number up, we can pull you in over the phone. Please do not jam up the phone lines or continue to spam the phone lines, as a little bit of respect to your fellow callers. I will get to you as we go along, but yes, I can hear the call waiting coming up in the background, so don't do that. And if you're new to the Discord server, there is a link to the Discord server in the description below, on which I host the show. You can get in there, get into the waiting room, and put a message in the pick me section in the channel in there, so I know that you are waiting for this. We're going to talk about Biden today. We are going to talk a lot about Biden today. I know we're going to talk a little bit more with some guests about what's going to go on. So I'm going to keep my monologue a little bit short here because I know I'm going to be spending the majority of my time talking in the monologue there, but I really want to hear what you guys are going to do, how you guys view the Biden presidency and what you think it means for you coming forward here. So I think before we get right on down to it, oh, by the way, we'll be reading live chat the whole way through too. Let's get rid of the intro music here. And I think it's time for us to get started. So get rid of that. Let's get the phone lines open back up here. Get that started up here. We'll get the live chat up as soon as the phone lines are up, and we will get started. We'll get the Discord up over here so we can see. All right, that is up. The phone lines are up. The phone lines are open. We're ready to go. Let's see what the live chat's doing here. I've got a Nephilim Ninja of Nibiru over here today. Welcome on in. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Tell a couple friends. Tell like 10 or more friends. If we get 20 people in here, I'll go for an hour and a half. But let's get started. Let's get the live chat up over here so I can see what you guys are doing too. And I think we better go. Let's see, we need this one here for the phone number. The phone lines are open. The Discord is up and open, so go ahead and whenever you're ready, if you want to pop in, this is your time. Saint is also here. He says, "Sup, bitch? How we doing, Saint? Welcome on in." So, as of Wednesday, Joseph R. Biden Jr. is the President of the United States. It's been something we've been known was going to be happening for a while. We watched it. We watched the inauguration. We watched everything else go along with this. I had no reason to suspect that something else was going to happen here. I know a lot of people, there are still people out there, I talked with the R-rated conservative about this last night, that are still looking out and saying, trust the plan, trust the plan. They still think that there's going to be some major savior moment coming through where somebody's going to come in and all of a sudden the next person is going to be the President of the United States. That it's not going to be Joe Biden. It's going to be Donald Trump or whatever it is again. So I know that's what, I mean, if you look into, you see depressions pop up all left and right, in and out, especially under Democrat presidencies, especially if they've got the chance to, blame it on a Republican president. They'll do just that. It looks like we've got our first caller in here, so I've got Saint. Saint is ready to come in, so we'll bring Saint in, and we'll hear what Saint is going to do for the next 4 years. Saint, you are on the air. We'll try that again. It kicked you back out. Saint, you are on the air. It kicked you out the first time, but it did bring you back in. Can you hear me? Whoops. I can hear myself. I got a monitor going. Saint.
I'm here now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're breaking up really bad. I've got that low data thing going on. Hey, let me ask you a question here. Would it work better if you used the phone line?
Actually, it probably would.
The number's up on the screen on the main chat. If you wanna pop into there, we can take you out of the waiting room here, and we can get you into that way instead.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, I will
Okay.
drop it back
Oh,
out. All right, that was Saint. Thank you for popping in. Oh, I just popped myself out of the live room too. All right. That was Saint. He's probably going to call in here in just a bit, so let's get that prepared. Let's see who else is in the live chat here. Looks like I got some Blind Fear. Oh, Blind Fear shoveling snow. It's way too fucking cold to snow up over here. It's been sub freezing for the last couple days, so yeah, there's that. I wish we had some snow. I wish we could take some time. Oh, we got our first call coming in.
Call from.
Saint.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello.
What's up?
You are on the air.
All right. That works a lot better. Anyway, what were we talking about? Well, the inauguration of our illustrious brand new leader, the great, the wonderful Joseph R. Biden.
It's Robinette, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's a stupid middle name, so. No, but I mean, based on what the title of the video or of your video tonight or of the stream tonight, what are you going to do to handle the next 4 years? Well, I can tell people this, and I've been talking to people about this in other servers, is the left has been giving us has given us a wonderful tool in YouTube, and books are always out there. So go and start learning stuff. That's what I would say to people over the next 4 years, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Is going to be learning as many hard skills as I can, or trying to brush up on as many hard skills as I can over the next 4 years. And that's what the advice I'd give to many people is get a marketable skill, something that's good, that's going to last you. So.
Now, you are, I think you've been pretty public about what it is that you do for work, but are you going to be going down that same kind of field, or?
The thing is that with Biden coming into it, with the economy, the economy is going to be shifting the way that it normally does under a president or under a presidential term like this, which is bad. And I'm in a particularly safe job at the moment. So with the election of Biden, I'm now kind of stuck to this job until he gets booted out of office. So I'll be remaining in the trucking industry, probably driving over the road for at least the next 4 years.
Well, that's been one thing too, and I know I had planned to do this as an across the board, but I couldn't get any guests lined up. Well, I had half of my panel lined up, I should say. I couldn't get anything else in, but for my monologue, and I'll be doing a little bit more of this next week for the monologue along with that, but for the monologue, I was going to talk about, just like you said, getting useful skills, but also making sure that you are marketable and have a backup plan just in place. Elaine broke the news for everybody off of this here, but I'm going out pursuing a real estate license right now, just so I know that I will always have a way to work and I can, to an extent, work for myself, but also, I'm going back and getting my Med card redone, so just in case I've got to get myself out on the road and over the road, I'm right there ready to put in a truck.
Yeah. And that's what I've been saying to people and I've been saying this to people for the last 4 years is make sure you get into, during Trump's presidency, just in case he loses this next time, which he has. I've been telling people, get into a job that is going to be marketable in a tough economy. You're going to be able to do or get in a tough economy, and you're going to be able to keep employed. So like mechanics, truck drivers, medical field, all of that stuff is going to be marketable during a tough economy.
Mm-hmm.
So getting into stuff like that is a good idea. And then basically, like I said, learn hard skills, learn how to do stuff yourself, because in a tough economy like this, you're not going to be able to spend money on getting a mechanic probably, or, getting housework done, getting repairs done. So learn how to start learning how to do stuff like that yourself. It's good to have for tough times. So that's my advice to people.
Well, I mean, that's another thing to go along with that is, I mean, go ahead and look into what you can do to repair your own house. If you own a house, you should be able to do that anyway. That's a big
Oh
thing for
yeah,
me.
that's like I understand people who live in apartments who rent an apartment. Obviously, you're not going to learn how to work on stuff in that apartment because
It's not
it's
yours.
not really your responsibility. Yeah, it's not yours. So it's the responsibility of the landlord to make repairs when necessary. So, but when you own a house, yeah, I do agree with that. Is if you're going to buy a house, you should have all that stuff in mind and start learning how to make repairs on your own house. Same with owning a car. If you own a car, learn how to make repairs on your own car, especially the small stuff like lights and oil changes. All of that stuff, all the minor stuff you should know how to do yourself because all that stuff's entirely too expensive to be taken to a mechanic.
Yeah, so I mean,
It's too easy.
I've well, I also rent right now too, but I know how to change my own oil. I know how to tear down an engine, rebuild it. I've rebuilt the transmission before, but I'll take my pickup truck over to the local shop right now because, then I don't have to dick around with the disposal. But pretty much any other repair, I'll go and take it out take it somewhere
Yeah.
where I know I've got a garage and then work on it myself.
Well, yeah, and I always, it's weird because, I talk to people about this and I realize just how lucky I am growing up in the area where I'm a 45-minute drive from the furthest O'Reilly Auto Parts and a 15-minute drive from the nearest one. And they do oil and battery disposal. So
Yeah.
I realize that not everybody's got one of those the do-it-yourself shops. close by. What the heck?
And it sounded Arabic to me.
Yeah.
That was
Hello.
that was Arabic.
Is that your CD
Hello?
or?
No, that's my radio. Did somebody connect to my Bluetooth again? Oh my God! Did somebody really just connect to my truck again?
That is kind of hilarious.
God. How are they doing this?
I have no idea, but we're all getting a show off of this here.
How are they doing this? My Bluetooth is off for one, so they shouldn't be doing this. All of that's off, so I don't know how they're doing this. The last time I did this, or this happened, it was some Armenian dude.
Sounded like that's what just happened now too. Maybe he's looking for a Kardashian and he hooked into the wrong Bluetooth.
I don't know. That's weird. He shouldn't even be able to do that because my Bluetooth isn't on, so. All right. Well, before that happens again, I will hop off here so nobody has to listen to that crap.
Well, the live chat's very much enjoying it. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hop off then.
Okay. Thank you.
Ano
again,
ba
Saint.
ito? Kailangan sa momento.
Take care. All right, that was Saint. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. Saint is over in the Discord server if you ever want to reach out to him, and he did bring up some good points, and that is definitely something you should look into. And once again, I'm not going to go too far into the monologue that I had going on with that, because we're going to be touching on a lot more of that coming up here. But yeah, if you've got the opportunity right now, especially with people going out and begging for work and doing anything else, if you can find something, at least go down the path to a new career. Like I said, I've got 2 real estate books and a packet over there. So I'm going to do everything I can to get a real estate license in short order here, because just in case something comes out here, I can still go out and sell houses and keep food on the table. If I don't think my job is going under, but if it does that, but yeah. And I'm going back to get my medical card. So just in case I've got to get in a truck and start transporting goods, I've got one step ahead of everybody else and going up and getting that. So thank you for that there. Anybody else wants to call in, the line is open right now, or we've also got the Discord up ready to go. So if you guys want to pop in there, as I mentioned, go into the Pick Me channel and hashtag pick me, so I know that you're ready to go and waiting. Let's catch up with the live chat here, see what you guys are doing. Let's see. Blind Fear was shoveling snow. Nephilim Ninja is doing yard work in the rain. The California life. You gotta love it. Blind Fear said he's shoveling snow. We saw that one already. Chilaga is over here. Chilaga 1984. It's Joe Bob Biden. Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, Robinette. You could shorten that down to Bob. Joe Bob Biden. That's great. I love that. Blind Fear says Joe Biden has a smile that makes the lilacs want to grow. Well, I don't know how many lilacs are going to be growing, but I think that he's going to be helping some daisies grow coming up here in the near future. And I'm already seeing people talk about 25th Amendmenting him out because he's forgetting words. I mean, all of this was. The person who cited that, and I'll be reading the article in the morning on Contemporary, but the person who did cite that pointed out the fact that all of this was just a ploy to get Kamala Harris in. That's all that it was. And we see that clearly. We see that very clearly. The fact that that's all they wanted to do was get Kamala Harris in. Nailbender's laughing over at Saint's misfortune there. I hope he gets that fixed. I hope he pops back in here too, because that was pretty awesome. Yeah, everybody's laughing at that. Ron Helton says I'll have to catch the replay. Well, that's a shame because I would have loved to have Ron Helton in the call-in room. He's got some errands to run though, and you know what? Like I say, I don't take attendance here. By the way, if you guys can word of mouth me in 20 people into the live chat sitting here chatting, we'll go for 90 minutes. We will go for 90 minutes, and I will do that for you because I want to read your chat, take your calls, and listen to what you guys got going on here. Chilaga was going to say, I was about to say Armadian dude better than Armadian witch. Oof. Oh, nice. Good call, Saint. Nailbender is a carpenter and pretty well needed. Yeah, you know, we've talked just a little bit about that. Shit just got real estate for J. Edgar. Poppy Chulo says Trump or Biden. I voted for Trump. It took every ounce of my being to do so, and I had to do so kicking and screaming. But I did vote for him the second time. I voted for him the first time, obviously, because I wanted a non-politician to have a crack at the presidency, because it makes it okay for the rest of us to go and run too. By the way, if you guys push me to 2,000 YouTube subscribers on a platform that I am actively suppressed on, if you push me to 2,000 subscribers on that, then I will run for president in 2022. But I am also looking at some local offices right now that I know that I'm going to be staying in the area. So now that I know that, I'm going to look at maybe a mayor. No, I don't want to be an executive. Possibly an alderman in my city, possibly county board, doing some stuff like that. Possibly even going on to school board, but definitely 2,000 YouTube subscribers, and I will definitely make that jump up and go for the presidency. I would love to do that. I had some reasons. I made a solo video about this. My solo video, when I did that, I talked about the fact that Donald Trump didn't really have a lot of fuck you clout on the first term of his presidency. And I think that's a lot of the reason he did roll over on the omnibus spending that he said he was never going to do again, on some of the laws that he pushed through, including the bump stock ban. I do think that some of that was trying to pull some centrists back together and make sure that he got himself reelected one more time. That was one of the things that I thought, but I thought for sure that if he went through and had a term where he didn't have to worry about reelection, that he would probably let me rephrase that, he would possibly do a lot better. And that was the reason, that's what pulled me over to the point where I could pull the lever for Trump the second time. And it was hard because I also knew that he had done the bump stock ban, that he had spent us into oblivion, and he had rolled over and done all the stimulus packages. He gave everything to the Democrats on the stimulus packages, and they still wouldn't do anything for it. And I'm not even in agreement with the stimulus packages, but still, he rolled over and he gave them every fucking thing that he wanted, or that they wanted. He gave Nancy everything she wanted because he wanted to get reelected. And I was really hoping that the term where he didn't have to worry about reelection was going to do something different for him. Let's see. Gurian is over here on Twitch and says, handling the next 4 years. That is a good question. That is a good question. That's definitely something to watch for, too. I want to know what you guys are going to do. I really want to see what your plans are if you're planning on pulling up a second job. How safe do you think your jobs are with lockdowns coming, with everything else that they're planning on doing, with some of the other crap that they're planning on doing with that? How safe is your job? How safe is your job if bunches of jobs get sent overseas? I don't think there's a lot of manufacturing jobs in my viewing audience, but I could be wrong. But I mean, if the TPP sends people jobs overseas, is your sales job going to be safe? Or are you going to be able to have enough customers to sell stuff to? There are all sorts of other questions that go along, and we historically have seen recessions come with Democrat presidents. It happens. And if your job isn't safe, what is your backup plan? What do you do to make sure that your family stays fed? One of the things that Biden came on says he's going to make the $15 an hour minimum wage mandatory across the country, which, you know what? That is all that's going to do is hinder the growth that's coming up here. And that is going to make some of your jobs go away. And it's going to make your job even more worthless because is your boss going... Now, most of you aren't making minimum wage, but you're making considerably above minimum wage. Is that level above minimum wage going to stay, especially if we're going into a recession? Let's see. Saint says Trump let a lot of people down. He did. But he was the devil that we didn't know. Let's be frank about this between Biden and Trump coming in this. You know, we had the spoiler candidates in the back too. We had Howie something or other that was in the Green Party who nobody even heard of this time through. I mean, at least we heard a lot about hippie fucking grandma back in 2016 because she was the spoiler that cost Hillary the election. And now people are coming out and saying that, you know, in some districts it was Joe that cost Trump the election, which I don't buy because of the percentages that she had. But on the other side of it, I mean, you've got Shane T. Hazel that's out there openly bragging about the fact that he was the reason there was a runoff election. He spoiled the election, and he handed all of this back over to the Democrats. He is the reason that it's a 50-50 split right now, which is kind of an asshole thing. That's like, okay, I've just helped install a massively authoritarian progressive agenda because my liberty and my libertarianism. I mean, I respect the fact that he ran, don't get me wrong, but still coming out and bragging about that, it's kind of a cutting off your nose to save your face kind of thing. Or spite your face, one of the two. Let's see. Poppy Chulo says, I'll vote for you for president. Well, thank you. Thank you. We still have to get 2,000 YouTube subscribers up there, though. On a platform I'm actively suppressed on. If you can do it, I'll run. I will. Just to see what the GOP says when another person from even further on the outside comes in. That's the big thing for me. I just want to see what they say. When a truck part salesman comes up and says, okay, I want to run for president, I want to see what their little social boys club says to that. Oh, you can't run for president. You don't have any... Yeah, I know more about what the people need than you do. What do you have to lose? All you're going to do is put up another fucking boring neocon anyway. Could this be the year that we get Jeb Bush? Is there going to be another Bush coming into office? Seriously? Let's see. Saint says, and all the Q stuff did not help the situation. No, it didn't. And it's fucking nuts, the Q stuff that they're doing here. And people still believe it. That's the thing. People still believe that QAnon is going to come down and rappel out into the White House, and they're going to drag Joe Biden out of there because he's the head of the pedophile ring. They think that he's the head of it now, which, I mean, if there is something that's not above board going on in the government, I really believe that Joe Biden is involved with it. And possibly the ringleader. I don't know. He's not smart enough to be the ringleader, but definitely something. And that's something I've said right from the beginning of this, too. I don't think Joe Biden is president because the Democrat Party wanted him to be president. I think Joe Biden is president right now because he did something with the Ukraine. He did embezzle money with the Ukraine and China and probably a bunch of other countries around the world that he's embezzling money, stuff that Hunter's involved in, stuff that his brother's involved in. He's embezzling money left and right from that. But I really think that the rest of the government elites, including Nancy Pelosi, a few of the other people who were on the campaign trail, and a few other high-level Democrats, also had their hands in the cookie jar. That's why everybody dropped off at the very end and coalesced around Biden and said, okay, we all endorse Biden. Let's all go get him in there right now. Made sure that he beat Bernie Sanders. I don't think it's because people thought that Bernie Sanders could have lost the election. I definitely think that it's because there is something on Joe Biden and now he can't be investigated for it because he's the president. And a lot of other prominent Democrats had their hands in the same cookie jar. And one could argue the whole time through that Joe Biden, the reason that he became president was because he was in trouble with the Ukraine. And he did a bunch of stuff that was illegal and now he can't be investigated. But the fact that everybody coalesced behind him, a boring old neolib who's never met a military action that he didn't like, who's never met a spending package that he didn't like. Well, that's pretty much right along the line. But a person who grew up in a time where he had to work with segregationists as a Democrat, at a time where he could still call people colored and still make N-word jokes out in public. A person who definitely did not see two people kiss in Delaware when he was a kid and have his dad, who was most likely, wasn't his dad born in the 19th century? And have his dad be okay with it. They coalesced everything, all their energy around an almost 80-year-old Alzheimer's patient. And that tells me a lot of the rest of them are involved with what he was running with Hunter. All right, let's keep going here. Chilaga says, I would argue that Corona hurt Trump way worse than Q. What's up? Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, we look at Corona and we look at H1N1 or the Ebola. Well, the Ebola really wasn't that contagious, but the swine flu and stuff like that. All the stuff that's happened in the past that was similar to the coronavirus. I mean, it seems like we get a new coronavirus every year, but the media reaction to this particular coronavirus, I think, is what hurt Trump because they knew. And, I mean, Tim Pool. I'm a Democrat and I'm a milquetoast fence sitter. Tim Pool with a fucking beanie came around to Trump and said over and over again, I've never voted for, I voted for Obama, but I mean, I got to vote for Trump because, I mean, he's doing this, he's doing that, and he's going to coast to re-election. And he was. He was at a point where he could just coast into re-election. All he had to do was put his phone down, stop tweeting, and he could just coast to re-election. And then, yes, all of a sudden, a massive pandemic comes out where people start talking right from the beginning that this could take out 2% of the world population. Oh, look, Donald Trump didn't do anything about it. And he was in a no-win situation. He was in the Kobayashi Maru. Because if he actually did what the mainstream media tells you that they wanted him to do and locked everything down from the top, well, he's a dictator. Look at him. He's the dictator that we always told you he was going to be. And with the Federalist response to let the states figure out what was best for their states, oh, well, Donald Trump didn't do anything. He didn't do enough for anybody. He didn't do anything. Why wouldn't he do anything? What's wrong with Donald Trump? Why wouldn't he do anything? It was the Kobayashi Maru, and they skewered him with it. Plus, I don't necessarily believe that everything in this election was above board either, but everything was completely above board and nothing bad happened. Wink, wink, honk, honk. Susan Wojcicki. Election of Joe Biden went off completely without a hitch and nothing bad happened. All right, Gurian left me a little book here, but I wanna read some of this here for you guys. Gurian over on Twitch says, to be honest, if the Keystone XL/fraction is any indication and the president tells you, find another job, no job is safe. With Biden, our manufacturing is gone for good. No KXL equals no oil independence. That's true. That's absolutely true. So I expect to spike back up to 350. I think it's going to go higher than that. I really do. I think we're going to hit 5, 6 because the climate change thing, and they want to make sure that nobody's going out and buying V8 pickup trucks either. Or they want. I noticed over the last year they've been trying to demonize anybody that's got a 3/4 ton or bigger truck. Have you guys noticed that? Like, I saw the one tweet out there where the guy says, "Look how huge trucks have gotten over the time," and he's got a brand new F-350 crew cab long bed with the off-road package, so it's lifted a little bit too, and he put it right next to a 1994 Toyota Tacoma single cab short bed, 2-wheel drive. They're trying to demonize you. They're trying to make you think that pickup trucks have gotten just massive and huge, and everyone's trying to pollute the environment because gas got low. Gas got cheap. And in reality, my half-ton 2014 F-150, which was the last year they used the rolled steel body, by the way, weighs 200 pounds less, and it's similar package, extended cab, short bed, 4-wheel drive, V8, the premium engine, V8, weighs 200 pounds less than my 2001 did. Trucks are getting lighter, dude. And considerably more powerful and considerably better fuel economy. My 2001 could never get, even on the cruise, highway the whole way on a warm day, could never get more than 12.9 miles per gallon. Stephen Ignoramus was sitting in the passenger seat and watched my white truck, my 2014, get 21 on Highway 95 going between DC and Orlando last year. But yes, they are going to try and scare you out of driving a larger vehicle. Let's see. Let's finish up what Gurian had to say. I mean, I just warned people that he would lie, and voila, he did. Just like he did in the 90s. But people hate the Trump persona so much that they didn't see the corporatists for what they were. I would rather pick an outsider than put Chinese military techs on our power grids. Yeah, there is the conspiracy theory too, which I actually buy into. That, I mean, Canada and Mexico are hosting Chinese training camps right now, and Biden just got himself caught in the cookie jar. Even though the New York Post wouldn't run the story, Biden got his hand caught in the cookie jar dealing with China too. So, yeah, there's some definite stuff to watch for, and a new Trans-Pacific Partnership coming up too. Chilaga says, if we can agree, it sucks for most Americans have both parents. It sucks that most Americans have both parents working. Sorry about that. I'm tripping over my words here just a little bit. It can be a hedge against one parent lose a job, trying to be objective. Yeah, that's true. I know, what did we see back at the beginning of the recession? We had the songs like Mr. Mom. I just lost my job, so my wife said she'll go back to work, and, crayons go one drawer higher. Rewind Barney for the 15th time, that kind of stuff. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot of new names in here. Thanks, you guys. Gurian says, not sure if you can see my messages onto it. No, I can see them. I was just catching up. That took me a little while. I apologize. But yeah, no, you made some really good points off of that. Chilaga says, I didn't read Gurian's novel before my message. Yeah, it was a good one. He had a lot of good points in that. ZPack95 says, yo, welcome on in, ZPack. What the fuck are you talking about, mate? Talking about what we're going to do under the Biden presidency as we look to what the economy could possibly do and what it looks like too. I've got another article in the Discord I'm going to be reading on Contemporary on Monday talking about some of the executive orders and what they've done to crop prices. It comes up out of a tweet, and I'll be looking into this to go with it, but Dr. Will tweeted out, soybean price is down 70 cents per bushel in the last 2 days. Corn is down 50 cents a bushel in the last 2 days. For those who don't know, a small farmer like me working 1,000 acres just lost $100,000 on a 200 bushel per acre average corn crop thanks to Biden's executive orders. That is a butt ton of money. And I'm not sure what specific executive order he's talking about, but you can better bet that I'll be looking into this so we can talk about it on both shows on Monday, because it's definitely something to look into. All right. Chilaga says, Gurian, he can see your messages. Just wait a minute. Yep, we got that all caught up. Nephilim Ninja says, I'm in manufacturing. Our family makes plastic bottles. So far, it's been recession resistant. Well, yeah, you're always going to have plastic bottles because that's actually going to start popping out too. Because more and more people are coming out and say, I will never buy another plastic bottle because you know those go into the ocean, don't you? And then the jellyfish try to have sex with them. And I mean, what happens to the jellyfish when they try to have sex with a plastic bottle? And we just keep dumping them into the ocean. Now, I'm kind of in the same camp here. Like, I will get the plastic cup from Quick Trip. By the way, this is not an endorsement of Quick Trip, but I do endorse Quick Trip, by the way, because they're a great company. They're a great Wisconsin company. If you're traveling through Wisconsin, I recommend you stop at a Quick Trip. But, like, I'll get the big Quick Trip cup and just keep filling it. Like, I'm been filling this one, rinsing it out, washing it out for... This is a good 2-week-old cup at this point. And then, yeah, I'll throw it in the recycling bin probably today because it is 2 weeks old. But I'll just keep using the same one. I mean, there's no reason to constantly go and get another plastic bottle off of this, but people are still going to do it because you can distribute purified water through them. You can distribute soda through them. You can distribute all kinds of things just by having plastic bottles. So that's not going to go anywhere for quite a while. Because no one wants to ship empty bottles across oceans or long freight. Yeah, exactly. Poppy Chulo says, for the boys who got the bigger dick than Biden or Trump. For the boys who got the bigger dick, Biden or Trump. Well, I don't know whose is bigger. Perhaps we can go ask Tara Reid about Biden's, but I know Stormy Daniels was right out. She didn't comment on the size, but she said it does look like the mushroom guy from Mario Kart. So he's got a toad-shaped dick. Which, I mean, if he's got that much of a flare at the end, it's got to be good sized at least decent sized. That was Poppy Chulo's message. Gurian says, if this isn't proof Biden is clueless of what's going on, then people are trying to protect themselves. I don't know what else to say. Can I get one of my mods to grab that YouTube link and put it somewhere in my Discord if you could? I am not going to pop it open right now just because it's going to autoplay and it'll bleed over onto the system. But if one of you guys could just grab that link and put it over in the Discord, I will watch it later. And if it's worth noting, then we'll put it on Contemporary in the morning. Thanks, guys. Neff, love it seeing that robotic loading. I love that robotic loading vid. Gay lords. All the gay lords. Nailbender says he's all about segregation. He's a racist fuck. Yeah. I don't want my kids going to school in a racial jungle, man. Come on, man. Nephilim Ninja says oil prices affect plastic prices. That is true. They do. You are correct on that because plastic comes from oil. But I'm kind of glad to see a lot more people using the reusable plastic bottles. I'm not going to lie. I think that's a good thing. I mean, yes, it hurts certain industries like the one that Nephilim Ninja is involved in, but even still, we could probably use to do more reusables. We really could. Yes, I know. I'm an environmentalist hippie, but you know what? Conservation is key. Poppy Chulo says apples and... I'm glad I got through that before I am glad I got through that before I read that out loud. That was Susan bait right there. That was Susan bait. No, he hasn't done anything really bad or violent yet, so he can stick around for now. But if you do need a YouTube mod, go over and ping John from the Generational Gap over on the Discord, because I know he is. Let's see, wrong saloon. Purple Dinosaur 2801. Thoughts on racism? Racism sucks, dude. I'm sorry. It blows. There's no reason for that. Judge a man by what he can change, not what he can't. And yes, I know that my good friend Seawall will go off and talk about other immutable characteristics that go along with the genetics that make your skin dark, and that's all well and good. But I see everybody as having equal opportunity. It's how you take the hand that was dealt to you. It is how you approach it. And that's the most important part. Not necessarily what you look like. I mean, Christ, I look like this and I wound up nailing a girl who went on to become a model. It's how you work with the hand you're dealt, not necessarily what you look like. Saint says, I'll call back if you got nobody else. Well, you're always welcome there if you've got some more to say. Go ahead and pop in anytime that you want. Let's see. Nailbender says, my '07 Ram gets 14 miles per gallon. That seems low. Especially, like I said, and I mean, in the wintertime, and just going around in town, because I never get up on the highway anymore because I live like 5 miles from work. Yeah, I'll stick around the 15, 16 mark on my F-150 with a V8. So that does seem a little bit low. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Stephen Ignoramus can attest to it. He saw my truck get 21 miles to the gallon on 95 going down the eastern seaboard. McConnell says, will you show feet during the call? I will not. Papi Chulo says something that I'm not going to read out loud. Yeah, Saint. I'm going to mod Saint up. As soon as I get off, I'm going to mod Saint up. Because he usually does come in over on the YouTube side. Let's see. Oh, no, he's leaving. That's lame. Let's see. Adrian Valadez told Poppy to shut up. Gurian is back again. He says, the real threat is the CCP, and people are going to scoff and say alarmist. Their internal party documents were leaked, and the number one goal was to subvert all levels of American democracy. Oh, we got another call coming in. Hang on.
Call from
Saint.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
You're on the air.
Just real quick, I have a wrench already, dude, on YouTube.
Oh. Neat.
That's why I said that to him. That's why I told him to knock it off with the crude joke.
Oh, okay.
That's just a warning. I was already getting ready to put him in timeout if he didn't knock it off.
Yeah, I know Steven had to bump a guy the other day, too. Which, once again, he threw... Because, I mean, Steven knows what the rules are. We don't throw anybody out. We will shut them up if they're not adding to the conversation. And usually if you shut them up, they'll just leave anyway.
Yeah, well, he said he already said he was going to leave after I told him that, or he said he was leaving after I told him that, so. He's fine. He's gone.
All right, you had some more to add with that? With your previous
it
call?
was just it was on fuel prices. I can already see them going up, so just everybody be mindful of that. You know, my industry is a good precursor as far as it goes. Once you start seeing our commercial prices go up, your consumer prices are not far behind. So.
Yeah, I know, because it does cost money to get out there, but everybody's, even in the middle of an economic crash, everybody is going to sit back and scream that we're begging for jobs. We're begging for drivers. Get in a truck. We want a driver. We want a driver. That seems to be the job that never goes away.
Yeah, well, I mean, even right now is that, I mean, they're constantly telling us, you know, with this job is that we're something like, I don't know, there's something like 2 million drivers, or when I got on 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, they said that we were like 2 million drivers short for the freight needs of the U.S. And I was like, I don't believe that, but okay.
I just got to point out here for a second that Megan X and MK Ultra just joined over on Instagram, by the way. But unfortunately, they're not going to be able to hear what I got coming through the earphones here. And I do have Saint on the phone right now over there. So if you guys want to pop into the Big 5, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, Big 6, I should say, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, or Trovo, you can hear what Saint is saying over on the other end. In the ears.
I've never quite gotten. I mean, because it's the UI over on Instagram Live is not very good.
Well, yeah,
So
there's no way for me to connect.
People use that.
There's no way for me to connect that because I have to do Instagram Live through my phone. You can't do that on the desktop. So it's literally my phone is just sitting up, leaned up against my monitor.
Oh man. This is not gonna. I'm telling people like to be because things are about to get tough, but I'm trying to tell people be optimistic and look for stuff to do, and look for ways to better yourself during this time. So it is gonna get hairy here for a little bit, but just gotta keep pushing through.
Yeah. It looks like I've got another call that's getting ready to come in here. So.
Okay.
Whoever it was that did try to call in just a bit ago, I'm going to let Saint go here, and then we can get that line back open. You can get back in. But thanks for calling again, Saint, and we're going to keep going. I'm going to catch up with live chat while we wait for the next one to pop in. So thank you.
Okay, man.
Thank you, Saint. All right, the line is back open. So if the number that was in there wants to pop back in and give it another shot, it's open for you. Let's see what the live chat's doing over here. We were reading from Gurian at the time. The number one goal was to subvert all levels of American democracy in a soft war and replace it with a Marxist-Leninist thought, cultural Marxism, etc. The list of CCP agents was leaked, thousands in Cali. And what did Cali K-12 education just sign into law? Critical race theory and BDS ideology that pushes socialism. To be honest, we're already lost. I'm not sure what BDS is. I'm not sure. Oh, is a boycott, divest, and sanction, so anti-Israel stuff, I'm thinking. And yeah, we knew California was going to do critical race theory, CRT, because that's the kind of stuff that they do. So, yeah, we'll see what happens out of that. McConnell says, your own country goes full commie. Somehow that means we win. Did I say that inadvertently? Oh, we got another call coming in.
Call from
Nailbender.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I've got Nailbender. You are live on the air.
Oh, this should be interesting. So, listen, everybody seems to be worried about the upcoming cost with fuel prices and the downfall of manufacturing, and those are very, very realistic concerns to have, because Biden's never hidden the fact that he's coming for our guns and he's coming for our jobs. Between him trying to ship everything overseas and finding new and improved ways to torpedo the American economy, the one thing that everybody needs to pay more attention to is the overall housing market. And it's not because of shipping costs or anything like that. To ship building materials and things like that, yes, it costs massive amounts of money. I'm not even going to begin to tell you what I pay for delivery charges for that shit. But once the housing market starts to tank, anybody that has any money is going to be buying them up. And it's already happening at an unprecedented level here in Michigan as it is, because I live just across the lake from you in Michigan.
Okay.
Seriously, it's like an 11-hour drive for me to your area. And for the last few years, well, since Obama's first term, honestly, here in Michigan, the city of Detroit has had a program called a land bank, where they take all of these crappy houses that are run down and are basic basically drug dens, honestly. And the city sells them for dimes on the dollar for whatever's left on property taxes or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
They get torn down. People buy them up. They either get torn down and the lots get sold as buildable lots, and people capitalize on that, or they turn around, they rehab them to the best of their ability, and they make them livable and turn them into Section 8 housing. So you have the right idea with trying to get your real estate license at this point, not even going to lie, especially if you have the money to invest in that. But once we start running into our housing issues and things like that, the trades are going to skyrocket, because what will happen is any kind of land developer that has any land to develop is going to be putting in subdivisions like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that's looking for something to try and better themselves for, get a builder's license. Even if it's something as simple in your area as like an alteration license, it varies state to state, county to county, city to city, whatever you may need. Learn your local codes for your area. Get a handyman license, some kind of like modification license, whatever you need to do for basic handyman work,
mm-hmm.
because we're going to be in high demand. We're in high demand as it is, but if driving truck or sitting in front of a computer learning your internet-based business, whatever the case, isn't the thing for you, definitely consider becoming a tradesman, because I'm in high demand as it is. Like, 2020 was up and down for me.
Hey, can I interrupt you for just a second, Nailbender? Just to give a message out over to Instagram, because I've got another person in on Instagram where if you want to get onto the big ones, you can't hear who's on the phone right now because I can't connect my phone into that. But I just wanted to get that message out there for a second, because I want to make sure you can hear what Nailbender's saying, because it's really, really good information. So the YouTube link is in the description, so head on over into that. All right, finish up what you were saying. I apologize.
It's all good. That's actually equally important, because I would like people to hear me as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in high demand, and 2020 was up and down with being able to get my building materials and things like that. Because believe it or not, the amount of construction materials that we get from places like Canada, especially here in Michigan, is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
So with the borders being locked down and shipping and things like that, yeah, it went from, with everybody being locked down, a lot of people learned how to do their own home improvement stuff, especially in my area, where if they were working, they would have had the money normally. But because they were home and they didn't have the money and their houses needed repair, they figured out how to do it themselves.
Right.
Which works, and it'll be awesome, because within the next year or so, once we get past all of the initial BS and there is some horseshit level of normalcy, if you want to call it that, coming forward, at least I'm trying to remain optimistic on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to go back and fix all the things that, some housewife is calling me and telling me that her husband screwed up. I can't tell you how much I can't even begin to tell you how much of that I do on a regular basis anyway.
Oh, I know.
Well, I can have my brother-in-law do that. Okay, you have your brother-in-law do that, but I charge double when you call me to come back because he screwed something up and I have to tear all of his shit out and redo it. So my price goes up accordingly.
Having worked on cars before I got hurt enough to where I couldn't make time anymore, I understand that entirely, because I have gone back and redone what other people have done numerous times.
Fun fact about me, I actually hold a Michigan Master Mechanics license, because that's what I actually went to college for.
Nice.
When the auto industry tanked the first time and everybody wanted their bailout, I paid my way through school in the construction trade.
Nice.
So when the economy tanked, I had additional skills to fall back on, because a lot of my buddies that were still in construction, they weren't hurting from the real estate and housing bubble that hadn't quite popped yet. So it worked out really well for me, and there was a tumultuous time for a little bit in between the two, but nonetheless I was able to recover from that. And anybody with any kind of mechanical skills or anything like that, you're getting to the point to where these are the things you're going to want to focus on. Not so much about just worrying about trying to find another way to survive if you don't have work or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only, here in Michigan, it's like $6 per test for a state license for a mechanic to maintain that license or whatever. You have to get retested every like 6 years. I still hold it. I still go and stay current on it, just in case, kind of thing. But no, there's actually a whole hell of a lot of opportunity, even if manufacturing gets shipped completely overseas, which you're already seeing and have been seeing for the last. Well, I'm 38, so 20 years of my life anyway.
Yeah. Hey,
A lot of manufacturing.
Saint, if you're in the chat, if you
John
wanna
Costly.
if you wanna separate a couple people there, I think a couple people need a timeout too over there. All right, I'm gonna open the phone line back up in case some other people wanna get a call in and catch up with some live chat. So, thanks very much for the call.
Definitely sounds good. Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate that.
We'll see you on Monday.
Oh, most definitely. I will be there.
Take care. All right, that was Nailbender. Thank you. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us here. Phone lines are open. If somebody else wants to get in, hop on in there. We're going to go for probably, if we get another call, we'll go for another half an hour. If we don't get any more calls, we'll probably finish out the live chat, maybe go another 15 minutes. But this is a good crowd. Thank you guys here. Let's see. Where was I? McConnell was, your country goes full commie. Somehow, that means we win. Chilaga says he will be back. Well, we'll see him when he gets back here. McConnell Smuggles Coke says that's why I'm going to vote for Biden twice in 2024. I think a lot of people did that, I'm not going to lie. But everything was above board. Susan, nothing bad happened, of course. Nothing bad went wrong. This was a totally, completely uneventful, the most secure election in history. Susan Wojcicki. Nephilim says, I'd be fine making plastic bags with threaded cap. It's the consumer that wants the thick bottles would be much less consumed. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting to see. Another way to do things here. Let's see. McConnell Smuggles Coke says, serious question. Is 450 worth over 350 in terms of towing? It depends on what you're towing. With a 450, you're going to get the extra spring in the back. You'll have different options for your rear end, which I think you can go up to 456 gears in a 450 versus your standard 410s in your F350. But sometimes you can get a 350 with the same kinds of packages too. I know my 2011 F-150 had what they called a camper package for it. So I actually had a 373 rear end, which is a 3/4 ton rear end. And then I had an extra spring in the back on each side. Now, my 2014 does not have that package. And definitely I noticed it driving down the road because, I mean, it depends on what you're going to be doing for towing too, because do remember, and that's the big difference between my 2014 and my 2011, they're identical trucks, other than the fact that the 2011 had the extra spring in the back and the heavier rear end. So I got less gas mileage out of that, and it rode rougher. It rode rougher than shit. So you'd actually, especially with the towing capacity of the 350, I would almost go with the 350 because you'll have just that little bit of extra give in the rear end. There's just that little bit of extra in the rear end. What things you lose the ability to tow when you get a 350 non-dually versus a 450? Well, your 350 for most people is going to be all that you need. If you're going up to a 450, you're going to be hauling some pretty heavy stuff. But for most of your customers, I mean, you're getting to the point where they're setting these trucks up where they can tow what a semi can tow as far as weight goes. Their gross vehicle weight, their towing capacity is 35,000 pounds. Now, of course, by the time you've got to that point, you need to have a CDL because, what is it, 35,001 is the point where you need a CDL. But between the power of the engine and the amount of spring that they have in the back, usually you can get everything you need to do on a 350. Now, non-dual, you're just going to lose a little bit of stability off of there. And you are going to take away some of your towing capacity with the non-dual because the extra tires in the back spread it out. I didn't even know they made a 350 and a non-dual anymore. I thought they pretty much converted that all over to all duals. But I mean, a 250 will do the work with the way they have the engines and transmission set up now. A 250, for the most part, will do the work that a 350 used to do 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Let's see. Nephilim says, I circumvented my throttle delay on my car. Brought it from 26 to 13. Oof. I hate to ask what kind of car you have. You know what would be fun? I saw like the old tiny little Grand Am with a V6 in there. I kind of want to do a sleeper build on one of those. Because you can pull a lot of power out of that 3.1 if you do it upright. And nobody would expect a Grand Am because it was generally, after they were new, seen as nothing but a cheap, compact piece of shit. 600-pound gamer says, yo. Well, yo, I hope you're still sticking around. I know that I've taken a while to get around to your message here. That was almost 20 minutes ago, so sorry for that. But Nephilim says Steven had to bump a guy. Well, he did just mute the guy. He didn't bump him out. But all my mods, if you see something that's going absolutely egregiously, as if somebody's not being safe or doxing or could possibly dox, then yeah, get them out of there as fast as you can. But if they're just name calling each other, throw them in timeout for a little bit, then they'll usually get the message and either leave or clean up their... They usually leave if they can't chat anymore. MK says, pretty sure Biden getting elected does nothing. Trump never wasn't running the country anyway. Well, we'll see. It's the tax policy that's going to come up out of this, and the fact that they're going to tax to shit, which is going to make it harder for people to hire people. Aimless Gamer is here. Welcome on in, Aimless Gamer. I'm going to mod Aimless Gamer. After I get off the stream, I'm going to go over there because I don't have anything up here where I can go grab his name and do it on the fly. But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, Aimless Gamer is going to get modded up over on the Twitch side. So everybody wave to your newest Twitch mod. Black-pilled cool guy, yeah. Poppy and Adrian are calling each other names again. Great call, by the way. Yeah, you guys rock. Yeah, that guy inspired me to get into a trade for sure. Absolutely. I mean, worst case scenario, if you keep your office job and you know how to do a trade, then you're going to get a really, really cool built house because you can do a lot of it yourself. If you're good at it, or you can fix your car in your backyard. Like I said, I will still go and do my oil change at the local shop down the road because they'll do the disposal for me and I don't have to worry about it. And then it just takes 20 minutes out of my day to go get it done. Instead of going up to my dad's, buying all the oil. Usually it takes me 30 minutes to 45 minutes when I have to crawl under it and do all that kind of stuff. The dude down the road's got a lift. You throw it on the lift. Drain the oil out, bring it back down. 20 minutes, boom, you're done. You're out of there. Your oil's disposed of. You don't have to think about another thing out of it. But yeah, when I throw brakes on in the spring, I'll be doing it up on my dad's. I need brakes. I warped a rotor going down the mountains in Pennsylvania. I need brakes. They're getting wobbly. But yeah, I'll do that myself. Probably going to have to do spark plugs at some point. I'll do that myself. Stuff like that. Where I'm not worrying about a lot of disposal and something that's still going to take a bunch of time anyway. I'll do that kind of stuff. McConnell says, I'm going to be towing construction, Cat or John Deere machinery, excavators, forestry, etc. Depending on the weight, you might have to go with a 450 for that. But I think you'd be just fine with a 3. I mean, my dad towed a tractor across the state with a half-ton. A farm tractor across the state with a half-ton. With a V6. Couldn't get on the interstate. Had to take one of the side roads. Third gear the whole way. But it pulled it, eventually. Nephilim says, J. Edgar has an extra spring in his rear end. Extra spring in my rear end. There you go. Nailbender says, I've been working in trades my entire life. If you want any information on resources or need help studying for a test, let me know. Go check out Nailbender. Nailbender, if you're in the Discord, then ping and everybody. You should have the authorization to ping everybody and let them know that you're looking for stuff. If you're not in the Discord, head on in there. And if the rest of you guys are not in the Discord yet, hit in the Discord where you can find great resources like Nailbender. I know Chilaga just had a great conversation with a friend of mine who's done homeschooling for the entire time his kids have been in school. And Quest was very much able to go over and get a lot of information for Chilaga, and I think it's going to help him out a lot. Nephilim says, really depends on how much you're pulling regularly and if it's also for day-to-day driving. Yeah, honestly, I'm going to see this spring and summer if I can get a smaller car to just drive around in and bang around in too. That way I'm not putting a bunch of miles on my pickup, which I'm really not anyway. I mean, the only reason I've put as many miles on it has, and I put 12,000 on it in the year that I've owned it, but that's because I drove to Orlando and back via Washington, D.C. It's the only reason it's got any mileage on it. McConnell says, what is your opinion of Ram pickups versus Ford? I've never been a Chrysler guy. I went from GM into Ford for me. So I still go on the whole transmission's blowing up thing because of a misaligned shim in the transmission that still hangs in my head over Dodge. I know a lot of people that have Dodge that like them, but it's not for me. I've always seen it as a rolling status symbol too, which, I mean, the F-350s are getting to be the same thing, but that's all I've seen it as. A Ram, the people, well, where I grew up, the people that had the Rams had them because they had the money for a Ram, and they wanted to show it off at the country club. So I've got that air of superiority coming out of them too, but I know a lot of people that have them now that love them, that just absolutely love them. All right. Let's see. McConnell says, thanks for the info. Fords are literally rolling beer cans at this point. Yeah, they did the aluminum body. My cousin's got, what's his, a 2020? He's got a 2020. It's got the aluminum body. He seems to like it. I mean, it weighs less. The only problem is, and this is the big thing with everything, is the insurance has got to be nuts on them because for the most part, they usually total them when you get into a fender bender because the panels are so expensive to make. So it's usually just a total loss on that and they give you a new truck. And I don't like that. I like my truck. And if I wrecked it, I would want them to fix it. I really like my truck. I really, really like my truck. Nailbender says, if you're using a truck for truck things, Ram and previous gen Chevy. If you're getting groceries, Ford. Insatiable is over here. This will be interesting. Alcohol. Lots of alcohol. That's how he's getting through the Biden thing. Oh my God, I see Biden printing so much money and making inflation go brr. McConnell says, do Ram 3500s come in dually? Yes, they do. And Unsatiable will have last word for the day here. It says, I just get a Toyota Tacoma because if ISIS uses them in the desert for war, then they must be super reliable on paved roads. Those are the kind of takes that you get. I can't join your Discord from DLive. I can fix that because I can throw that in the chat. Give me just a second here because I've got a standing invite link in the Discord that I can throw in there. Oops. Where's my live chat? There it is. There you go. Where's my outro music? I didn't open that up. That was probably dumb of me. Give that a second. This computer's a little bit slow. All right. That was a good show, you guys. And we'll be putting this on the audio platform. So, thank you everybody who came and hung out. Nailbender, Unsatiable, Saint, McConnell Smuggles, Coke, Nephilim Ninja. Who else was in here? Ron Helton was in here. MK Ultra, Poppy Chulo. Even though you were kind of a jerk out of things, thanks for coming in and hanging out throughout to the end. 600-pound gamer, Gurian. Who else do we have here? Chilaga. I think that's everybody here. And if I missed you, I apologize. But Blind Fear was in here too. Thank you everybody for coming by and hanging out. We will see you the next time Next Saturday, we are going to be doing Across the Board. I've got 2 guests confirmed already. I'm looking for those other 2. I'm going to make a couple phone calls here today and see if I can't get the other 2 set in stone and ready to go. But definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to what my guests have to say about how they're going to be spending the next 4 years and what they plan for coming up there. So definitely come back and hang with us next week. We do live chat at the end of the show, so even if we're stuck in topic, don't worry, we will get around to you at the end of the show, and we will see what you guys have to say as well. So looking forward to that. And of course, thank you, Saint and Nailbender, for calling and giving those great insights throughout the show as well. That really helps move the show along. And I mean, we went 75 minutes off of this, and it flew right by. So great conversation with that. We want to do some more of these call-in shows as well coming on up. And lastly, head on over to freedomscoop.com. Freedomscoop.com is going to be your one-stop shop for all of your news and commentary needs, where we carry great shows such as The Generational Gap, The Daily Ignoramus, The Breakdown with Birkenhoff, The R-Rated Conservative, and The Freckles and Brit Show. Come on over there, help us pick up some of our swag and help us support great creators. And if you can't catch us live, this will be back on demand over on YouTube and over on BitChute.com. Check us out over there, or go on over and pick us up on the audio platform. This episode will go on the audio platforms as well. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. You can check us out on any of those platforms. Take us on the go. And you can get great conversations like this anywhere you go. And lastly, never take the words of bloggers, podcasters, or journalists as gospel. Find all the facts and draw your own conclusions. We are heading out of here. Take care, everybody.